So it's midnight, just now, 12 midnight, officially May 27th. It's my birthday, and it's nowhere, near the time that I was born. So I've got a ways to go before that, but I just wanted to be recording as I was hailing in this birthday. It doesn't really feel like anything too spectacular other than the level of spectacular that my life has moved into over the last few years, and that's a very beautiful thing. A lot of very powerful stuff is happening in the ethers that, it's frustrating sometimes. It's very frustrating. I wanted to be doing certain things by this time, and, I'm not real huge on setting specific outcomes and what have you. However, I wanted to be in a more grandiose fashion, doing my thing. It looks to me like I'm still kind of, trying to find my way, and I am. It's just, I'm anxious to get it going because I have this great sense of, cool things are coming, and, love relationship is coming, and, my career and all this other stuff. And it just seems like, are you sure about that? Because there doesn't seem to be a lot of movement anywhere on that. And yet I feel that. And so I have to really keep, doing these videos and coming back to remind myself that, it has to just be what it feels like. And it is something that I've been saying for 3 years, that I've known very much so, that it doesn't matter what it looks like out here in 3D. I have to just keep reminding myself that, yeah, whatever it looks like out here, can't get too involved with that. I need to just remember what it feels like. And I feel that, my vocation is changing. I'm heading to, a greater understanding of what my work is here, and stepping into that passion and that purpose and my mission, more fully aligning every step of the way, every step of my day, to stay consciously aware of that. And, it's going to continue to evolve, and it's going to continue to need to evolve, because I don't want to stagnate anywhere. And I'm not exactly stagnating right now. I get the sense that, my mind and energy can work, much faster in my understanding of that than it's going to be able to actually do here on earth, in earth time, in manifestation. There's a lag time. The instant manifestation stuff, like creating vibhuti all of a sudden, is not quite the way that works. And I'm very, very careful to not ask for anything in particular, because I really want, people, my tribe, my love interest, anybody that's coming into my world, my vocation, the people that want to be on the team with me for my work, my passion, and of course my family, my intimate circle. Those are all people that I want them to be coming, not because I'm calling them in, and that nothing other than my vibration is calling to them and saying, hey, I'm over here, where are you? Ping me and I'll ping you, rather than calling them in some, I want that specific face in this specific way, this specific job, doing this specific thing. And I want to, that really, I struggle with that a little bit, because manifesting is about being specific in what we want, and yet what I really want is to be standing in my life purpose. And that may look different from day to day, and it does, in terms of who I'm actually reaching out and touching. Now, I have to admit, I'd like to not be doing the individual one-by-one touching. It seems to be not quite as efficient as, reach a bigger public, or a bigger, broader group of people. And going back to, I have to trust spirit, that if I was able to connect with one person and that was it, then perhaps that was my mission on earth, is to connect with that one person, see that the change has been made. Oh, okay, and move it on. And maybe that was it. Now, I don't think that that's it. However, I have to be, any fear that I have, any limiting thought, I have to get okay with that, and say, well, maybe that is it. What would happen if that was the case? How would I feel about that? And what would I do? Well, I would feel a little bit weird that, I had misread my own understanding of where my energy was headed. However, I would have to get over that, because that's an ego point of, okay, and then what is it that I'm not understanding? What is it that I can change, shift, look at differently, or gain, a different point of understanding? Because for some reason I would be bothered by not having, you know, this career with healing and, you know, public education, etc., about, you know, more spiritually type stuff that I really want to see come mainstream. What would be the hang up with it? Is it my ego that's saying, but I'm supposed to be here to do that? I'm supposed to be here to do my job, to bring healing, and it's going to need to look however it looks. In my mind's eye, you know, my vision is that it's headed, you know, to a place that just looks very different than anything I've ever experienced. It's going to be very hard to try to fill all that in and really just feel the feeling. Thank you. That's what it is, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. That just as that's filling in, it's based on the feeling of it filling in rather than the feelings of, fill in with the, oh yeah, oh yes, I'm reminded, and I'm getting confirmation routinely all day, you know, from my environment that, okay, I feel good. I feel very satisfied overall. I'm curious and I want to know more and I want to do more and I want to expand. However, overall, I'm pretty satisfied. And when I'm not satisfied or I'm not happy or I'm, you know, in that place of, then that's what I really should pay attention to, what I really need to pay attention to, what I really need to pay attention to, so that I don't miss the opportunity to get okay with my ego. And you may have, you know, not a very illustrious looking career or, you know, life. It may be a very humble, quiet, you know, don't talk to anybody, and could be that you never marry again, or, you know, that you're just a hermit, and, you know, could you be okay with that? And then take the converse of that is, you know, could you be okay with having your life go very public and not have as much, you know, quiet hermitage as you're used to? And either one of those extremes, it's a bit much, you know? So how about I look at what makes me feel comfortable in the middle of that is, okay, how do I gain access to all of the knowledge that I need to be in my life's purpose, which seems like it's headed this way? How can I best support me so that I'm not too afraid to step into that? And I'm also not too complacent to just kind of stay here where it's comfortable. And, you know, it's the old pattern of, I'm just going to, well, I shouldn't have to. And, you know, I do have to work through my own sadness and grief and anger and irritation, annoyance, you know, disappointment, whatever all of those feelings are that might be that, well, why hasn't this done better? Why haven't I found someone, you know, to spend time with that I can trust? And, you know, why can't I find friends? And how come these people haven't done that? It's really irrelevant. It's my turn at that point to get okay with what's the worst case scenario is that you may never have friends again. Okay, you know, all right. You know, is that what I want to see happen? I want to see me standing in my life's purpose. And if that means that I'm going to be friendless for a while, or, you know, won't have a love interest, or I won't have the family dynamic, or I won't have the job that I want to have. I mean, all of these things, as long as it's on the trajectory and it's moving forward and it's doing my job and I'm in my life's purpose, I can always, and I need to be always striving for what's the next evolutionary step that I'm taking to grow and expand and know more about myself and what I'm doing here and why I'm here and how can I do it better? How can I feel like I'm actually doing my job more? And not so much that I need the results out here to match what I think they should. It's how do I feel really good about that, and bring into 844, bring into conversation in my own head the gratitude of, man, I've had all kinds of confirmations, and that's just a matter of really getting over the human programming of it. That stuff's stupid. That couldn't possibly be it. You know, nah, that's not it. What are the chances, the random occurrence of, you know, certain things happening? Statistics is very, very, very studied and is very well known. And statistically speaking, much of what, you know, happens, the synchronicities and the anomalies in spirit and what have you, are just statistically, that wouldn't happen. That's ridiculous, you know? And yet it seems commonplace to me because I do see it and feel it and get those shifts, yet I'm still a human being and I grew up with terrible parenting just like everybody else, you know, a terrible paradigm, not just parenting, but the terrible paradigm of, you know, we do it this way, this is the only way, the age of Pisces, this is all we do. And age of Aquarius, you know, I'm more on that one. I read that book. That was my handbook that I was created out of. And, you know, that's what I'm here to do, is I'm really aligned with that. And that other stuff is kind of dinosaur extinction time, isn't it? To say bye. We don't do that anymore because we've shifted energetically and cosmologically. We've shifted. We have no choice but to, in my humble opinion, I've got no choice if I want to survive this and not lose my mind, or, you know, just completely succumb to, yeah, I guess this, you know, kind of substandard feeling commitment to my mission is going to have to just do, because I'm pulling away more and more of my resources and just kind of going into complacency mode. And what's a good way to combat that is get really grateful about, remember statistically speaking that, yeah, that wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't happen. Notice the miracle, Kate, and go, yeah, bravo. Whoa, that was really banging, because it is amazing. And the more I pay attention to that, it actually gets me through, you know, my day. And when I'm out walking, you know, and I'm listening to music, and I just really, you know, it sounds dumb, but just say, look, concentrate on, I am just so thrilled that I've got this song. I love this song. I've got my headphones on, and I could care less what's going on with the rest of the world for the next 3.5 minutes. Me and Eminem are cranking, or, you know, whatever it is, Nicki Minaj. I mean, I found out some stuff on these highways and byways here in Colorado Springs, making 1111, making stuff happen in my mind, because I've got to overcome all that terrible paradigm just like everybody else. And, you know, it's easier and easier and easier the more that I can remember to, you know, oh yeah, and ask for those kind reminds from my team of, yeah, could you please help me to remember that I'm getting landlocked in the matrix understanding, and I'm getting kind of scared again, and how can I do that? How can I rise above that and observe my humanity, observe my humanness, still be a human, however, rise into, I need to be more spiritual about this, 1144, and observe as the spiritual being that's able to influence the human behavior and the human understanding, because that's really the higher self, the higher consciousness. And it's kind of hard to separate. It can be kind of hard to separate that out when we don't even really know how we're connected to that. And if we're not really connected to our own higher source and higher power of us, our most, you know, on fire part of us, if we can't access that, or we don't know how, and we also simultaneously not really accessing the higher realms of divinity, we just feel kind of unplugged from anything, or, you know, disconnected and abandoned. It's going to make it, you know, pretty difficult to believe much. And, you know, my higher self, I have to get a hold of her and know who she is energetically. And that's ever changing and morphing too. And as the energies are here, channeling with me and helping me and showing me, then it's going to feel like different states. And it's very important for me to be very acutely aware of what the energy is that I'm starting out with as my own baseline. As my higher source and higher me, version of me, continues to upgrade and ascend and ascend and ascend, it's not going to be today. My higher self is not going to be as high as it will be later on, you know, as I continue to grow and evolve in my mission and my work here on earth, no matter whether it's for, you know, another 50 years or another 50 minutes, you know, shouldn't matter. So with that, I think I'm going to leave it and just say happy birthday to me, that I'm alive. And, you know, I was 9 years ago, I was on a ventilator and fighting for my life. So, and in the hospital for a very long time, 4.5 months. And I lost my belly button to that whole thing with a bunch of surgeries and, you know, going without food for 4.5 months. And, you know, things have been ripped apart in my life and restructured. And you're going to change your mind, Kate. You don't have a choice, because it's either change your mind or die. You know, which way are you going to go with it? And, you know, I'm still here, so I'm going to go with the higher consciousness and the teams of divinity that surround me and everybody else. I'm not responsible for theirs, I'm only responsible for mine. However, the teams that surround me, they have been talking to me and engaging me for as long as I've been here, you know, as part of this planet family. It's a matter that I needed to understand that I could consult that, and that she's not the highest authority. My higher self is not the highest authority available. I need to keep going, get to know her, and then keep on going to the upper realm realms even further and further and further, and keep striving for that always. 1444. So with that, I'm going to go and say happy birthday to me. I'm very glad to be alive and very glad to be 54. So that's 9, and I'll take that. That's a magical number. So I'm going to leave it with that. Thank you very much. Bye.